Hello and welcome to the Chaos of Scale, the podcast dedicated to helping scaling businesses navigate the human side of growth. I'm your host, Andy Golding, and today we're talking about urgency and why you need to build your urgency immunity to help navigate the chaos of scale. As always, I promise to leave you with at least one thing to think differently about in how you work with others, and at least one actionable step to help you show up as a rad or even more rad human at work. You know the drill. Please like, subscribe, share, and for some extra kudos and gratitude, please leave a review. Life in a scale up. You know the feeling. Everything feels urgent. It's noisy, it's overstimulating. You are balancing a bajillion competing priorities, and very quickly, every email, every ping, every quick question can start to feel like a fire alarm going off. And before you know it, you're running on pure adrenaline. Your heart is racing. You've probably skipped lunch. You've convinced yourself that everything, absolutely everything, needs to happen right now. When was the last time you took a deep breath? You probably didn't even realize that you've been holding your breath. And how's the tension in your neck doing? In the chaos of scale, it's dangerously easy to get caught up in the adrenaline spin of urgent. But not everything is urgent. The cheesy adage of we're not performing open heart surgery, or we're not in the business of saving lives, which obviously if you are in the business of saving lives, ignore that. But for most of us, if we don't do it right now, no one's going to die. We just get caught up in this urgency of now. Because so often in a scaling organization, urgency is like oxygen. It's everywhere. The business is moving fast. Priorities are shifting. There's always that underlying buzz of if we don't move now, we'll miss the opportunity. But that buzz, that constant hum of panic, it's addictive. It gives us this hint of importance, this sense of I'm essential, I'm saving the day. But the problem is it's completely unsustainable, because when everything is urgent, nothing actually is. You end up in this constant state of reaction, high adrenaline, the physiological state of constantly firefighting, being reactive instead of building and being proactive. And this is when mistakes start to creep in, decisions get rushed, and your best people start to burn out. Most of the time, things just feel urgent because we didn't plan properly, or we've been so reactive and so stuck in firefighting mode that we weren't paying attention to what was coming at us down the line. And sometimes urgency is a result of other people's bad planning or inaction. Their urgency doesn't have to become your urgency. It's that simple. So many times I've had my team members get hassled by other people's urgent, and I always ask them, what happens if you choose not to absorb that urgency and that panic? What happens if you shield yourself from that stress and panic versus what happens if you immerse yourself in it? How do you show up, and what level are you able to contribute at when you've absorbed the panic versus when you shield yourself from it and choose quality response instead? The physiological experience of urgency, that adrenaline rush, it's addictive and it's exhausting. So what's the antidote? Building your urgency immunity. You choose to stay calm when everyone else is spiraling. There is nothing constructive to be gained by jumping on the panic bandwagon. Your best thinking doesn't happen there. You need to learn to recognize the difference between a true emergency and somebody else's bad planning or somebody else's perceived urgency. When the urgent lands, pause for quality. Stop, take a breath, hang out in that magical space between stimulus and response. Is it really urgent? Urgent for who and why? Yes, in this case, it is really urgent. Okay, take a breath. Don't sacrifice logic to panic. You have problems to solve. Then drop everything and solve the problem. Clear-minded and solution-focused, not lost in the fog of panic. I guarantee you that when you approach solving urgent problems from a place of logic, calm logic, your results are going to be a lot better than flying at them from a place of panic and just solving them for the sake of solving them. Solve them properly, pause for quality, choose high quality over high speed. That urgent that landed, if we reassess and it's slightly different and it's actually a perceived or projected urgency, okay, take a breath, shield yourself. Panic is contagious, adrenaline is addictive, don't let it in. Is it urgent because someone else forgot a deadline, didn't prep, or wants to outsource their stress? That's not your problem to absorb. You can care and you can be supportive, but you do not have to inherit their chaos. I always imagine it washing over me and swirling around me. I've got my shield up, so I'm not affected by it. I've got my gas mask on, so I can't breathe in those noxious fumes. I can keep thinking clearly, I can make logical deductions, and I can choose a good course of action. And this doesn't mean that you become cold or detached and like, no, I'm not helping you solve your problems. You don't want to be that colleague either. But it does mean that you can manage people's expectations tactfully but firmly. It's saying, I understand that this is time sensitive, but if we choose high speed over high quality, no one wins. Here's what I can help you with and by when. Building your urgency immunity is drawing a boundary that protects your focus and your sanity and the focus and sanity of your team. It protects your productivity. It puts you in the driver's seat so that you can be proactive versus living in firefighting reactive mode. And if you do not build your urgency immunity, it will own you, especially in the chaos of scale. Urgency will dictate your priorities, your energy, your creativity, and your mood, and it will run you down, and it will do the same to your team. Building immunity to urgency doesn't mean that you stop caring. It means that you start choosing what's worth your panic, your high energy, what's worth you dropping everything to get it done. The best leaders and the most impactful colleagues don't absorb chaos. They wade through it calmly and intentionally, and they help everyone else in the process find their footing. Your action item from today is when the urgency lands, pause, hang out in that magical space between stimulus, urgency landing, and response. How am I going to respond to this? Pause there. Pinpoint what is the need, what is the action required, and where do I go from here? Second action item, pinpoint the urgency hotspots in your world. Where does a lot of your panic, real or outsourced panic, where does it come from? And then prepare your armor. Prepare to pause and deflect the panic. Remember to let it wash over you versus let it flow into you, and teach your team the same thing. Your productivity will benefit, your health will benefit, both physical and mental. Urgency immunity is necessary at scale, and it is necessary for navigating the chaos of scale. Thank you for joining us today. If you found value in today's episode, please share it with a colleague who might be experiencing something similar or may need to build their own urgency immunity. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and review wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Andy Golding. This is the Chaos of Scale. Remember, business growth is messy, but the human side doesn't have to be. Until next time.